want to welcome everybody. We're here at our Friday at the end of Making Monsters 101, my class here at Sherman Oaks. I'm so happy with this class because we have so many people that are returning. Everybody here is I think, taken the class multiple times. Mike, you've taken it 4 or 5 times now. Yeah. And Susie is back. We got a wonderful thing to show you with Susie that's going to be coming up in a few minutes. But right now is a special time because I'm here with KC Mussman. And at the beginning of the class, he came in and said, I'd like to do a dragon. Do you have a drawing? Do you have something that you started with?
In the plastic wrap over there.
In the plastic wrap, I got it. Well, I always love it when we do our visit to show you where we started. Tell us about this, and Mark will come in and give us, this is the drawing that Casey showed up with.
So Dawn asked me to sit down and sketch out a quick dragon. Because I said, Dawn, we're going to do a dragon. So he sketched out this dragon. I did 2 options. This was the first one. There was another option of a more bird, raptor-like kind of a little bit.
More of a skexis?
More of a skexis.
Kind of a feel? Yeah.
Because I really like the snout, the sharp beak.
Yeah.
And I think we kind of fell somewhere in between of the both of them.
Well, you definitely kept the wickedness of the thinness of what would be the beak, if you will, coming in and tapering like that. Because as you back out, if you look at this, she's got this wonderful kind of horse mass here, a large mass, powerful jaws that imply that this thing could really bite on you. But this thinness in here implies a wickedness, like a buzzard, like something that's going to pick you apart. And it also echoes back into some of the more traditional representations of a dragon. And she developed the outline first, and in developing that outline, of course she was looking at her drawings, but were there any other things that inspired you, or dragons that you remember from film? What was, when you were developing the profile, what were you thinking about?
Well, John, I definitely was thinking about dark crystal a little bit with the nose tip and the sharpness of the beak, and raptors, birds of prey. Also, Scandinavian dragons have that kind of thinness. But I was really thinking about horse anatomy because I really wanted to play with horse forms and horse shapes. So that was something that really drove the design on this creature. So you could see the muzzle. I was really putting in a lot of that horse anatomy here in these forms, going to the nostrils, the thickness of the lower muzzle, the thinness of the middle muzzle, and the mass of the jaw.
Yeah.
So I just feel like it gives him a lot of power, especially here in the back where the neck is, where everything comes together.
Love it, love it. Well, it's such a pleasure. And once again, it's so well realized and so well rendered. You guys were at about 36 hours in this class. And I can't express to you how focused Casey was. It's just a pleasure to watch this thing come together. You know, I judge a lot of these things about how do I feel being in the room with them. And this one is a very special sculpture. I want to point out some of the things that I love. The snaggle tooth that you have here. She's got kind of a raptor kind of sharpness to the front of the tooth. This came through a little conversation, but she caught on to that, and that's so nasty. It's kind of like a crocodile tooth. And of course, one tooth is coming from the bottom, the other tooth is coming from the top. How fantastic. So you get that kind of boom, that kind of interaction from the bottom to the top teeth. The beard, I had no idea what she was going for, but this seems kind of Greek, if you will, to me, in the representation. What a beautiful thing. And also it changes the profile, adds a little bit of age, a little bit of history. These things right here seem to have more history too because they've been aged in some way, and that's beautiful. The strength of the horn, of course, is wonderful. Do you agree? Once again, I don't know. I could be wrong, but in the outline of this horn, I feel, Mike, what was the Disney dragon? Dragon Slayer? Dragon Slayer, excuse me. I feel some of that in that horn, but it's wonderful because, once again, in a diagonal way, you have this form thrown this way, and for the sake of discussing Steve Lane and flow and everything, then you have this flow traveling up the length. So the line echoed in the cheekbone is the same line echoed here, is the same line echoed here. You have kind of a flow that also travels all the way through the horn. Love that. Love that.
I love also the flow lines. I like how it all streamlines in one diagonal.
Yeah.
And it gave me a lot of opportunities to to put in all these different like secondary forms that
That's
just curve and bend and S shapes.
That's
It's
right.
really fun.
Well, I'm so glad that you came and worked again with us. Once again, this is a joy to sit here and have these wonderful sculptures go up, and it was a pleasure to work with you again. Every time I meet Casey, we have a great time. Her humor is fantastic, and her focus. You know, this stuff isn't easy, but she brings the weight of also her experience. She's been doing it for a while now, and so it's a real pleasure. I want to tell you that we're going to be at Monsterpalooza all together. We're going to be in the Monsterpalooza Museum coming up on June 4th, 5th, and 6th, I believe. I could be a day or two off on that. I want to thank Elliot from Monsterpalooza, Elliot Brodsky, a wonderful guy who supports our next generation of special effects folks. We couldn't do better. We're going to have 2 or 3 tables in the museum. Now, you're going to mold this? Is this?
We're gonna mold this and have this in the museum, so you can all come and see it at Monsterpalooza.
Wonderful, wonderful. Is there anything special going to happen as far as materials? Are you going to try any mixed media, or what are you thinking?
Well, my favorite casting material is resin, so I do like to work with resins, and I love painting resins. I'm also going to be maybe mix and matching the resins, some dental acrylic for the teeth, some maybe translucent resins for the horns. So I definitely want to mix and match the different resins.
Wonderful, wonderful. Yeah, it's going to be a little bit more We're just going to do it quick, because the thing is devastating. It's just a devastating, beautiful, huge dragon. And I love that you really went for it, and the size. Now, she didn't do anything in the back here, but she conceptualized the neck traveling past the body form, and that worked out well. She sold this beautifully. There's also a nice return on the jaw under here. As I turn this, you guys, you can go ahead and get a few little close-ups and just pan in and just enjoy some of the detail. Just beautiful. Sometimes we clay paint the eye. It seemed nice that the eye was kind of an orange, so we didn't clay paint it today. And once again, I just really enjoy this. You can imagine this being mechanized. You can imagine the maw opening up and slamming. You can imagine smoke trickling out from the lips, and of course the nostril. It brings a lot of possibilities. And once again, I thank you so much. And we'll see you at Monsterpalooza with this and perhaps some of the other stuff that we've done from past classes. Everybody, we're going to be back in about 15 minutes, and I'm so happy to have Susie Hale back. We're all feel like partners in here. We're going to show you Susie Hale's sculpture, but bravo on this. This is a wonderful thing. Come to Monsterpalooza, support our artists, and we thank you. We'll be back in about 20 minutes.